Gosling. Hi, my name is James Bond.
Hi, my name is Christina London.
And we are Channel 9 News.
Situated on the Great Eurasian Plain, Russia has been vulnerable to invasions from both east and west, but was also well placed to expand laterally once a centralized autocratic state emerged under the Grand Princes of Moscow. Today, Russia spans the entire northern part of the Eurasian continent. Adoption of Orthodox Christianity from Byzantium brought Russia into the fold of Christian Europe and at the same time set it apart from the Roman Catholic West. Therein lies the beginning of Russia's ambivalence toward the West and the recurrent belief in the country's special destiny as the bearer of true faith. Whether Orthodox Christianity, Slavic Commonwealth, or communism. With its persistent medieval legacy and barely touched by the Renaissance and Reformation, Russia emerges on the world stage only under Peter the Great, 1682 to 1725. He established a lasting pattern for meeting the challenge of the West. Selective adoption of modern Western institutions in war, industry, science, and education without diminishing the centralized state and its power of confiscatory taxation. Where the reforms were successful, achievements over the last 2 centuries have been spectacular. Literature, music, art, theater and ballet, film, science, weapons and space technology. Russia became a military superpower when it defeated Napoleon and remains one to this day. But serfdom was abolished only in 1861. Land ownership is still unresolved, and historic grievances in the empire's borderlands to this day threaten the integrity of the state. Profound antagonism between modernizing trends and concentration of power at the top, be it a czar or a communist dictator, has produced an unstable polity. Periods of extreme repression have alternated with episodes of exuberant liberation followed by reforms, in turn undermined by renewed centralization and repression. Emancipated from communism in the Soviet Union, 1986 to 1991, Russia is struggling to institute a federal democracy and a market economy while its foreign policy is oriented to a partnership with the West.
Hi, my name is James Bond. Currently, I'm in a secret location. I'm about to share with you some top secret information. Russia used to be known as the SSR, and the government used to be communist from 1917 to 1991. And some current news that Putin, the president of Russia, has been wanting to enter the Ukraine ever since the Winter Olympic Games that was hosted in Russia. Russia prepared to enter the Ukraine's borders with a massive military exercise that involved 150,000 troops that Putin ordered. Obama stopped this at the time by having a firm statement and showing Putin that he wasn't going to let that pass by. Russia and the U.S. stand now with a reset relationship by having both sides winning, which means, in other words, that they're both are going to stop fighting against each other. Now let's see what the people in the real world, not the spy world, think about Putin and the government in all the Ukraine's crisis. Back to you. Hi, I'm here with Tyson and Chris, and I wanted to ask you guys, what do you guys know about Putin or anything involving the Ukraine and Russia and their involvement?
We don't know anything.
Russia's a pain in my ass.
Hi, I'm here with Captain Jack, and could you tell us about the Ukraine and what do you think about the crisis that Putin's put in there?
Well, I think Vladimir, I'm going to call him by his first name, I think he's putting people through unnecessary torture, and I think he needs to really care about the people and what he's doing and rethink his actions. And, you know, as much as the United States is in a crisis of its own, we're kind of backing that situation. And we all really need to rethink who we vote for president and who's going to do what for who. And I hope everyone out there can think about those issues, because that's really the bottom line on how everything ends up happening in the world. You know, who we vote for as president, how they're going to treat the people they take care of. And I'm just going to leave you with that here today. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Captain Jack.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Christina London on Channel 9 News, talking to you about news. The UN High Commissioner for Human Rights reported an alarming deterioration of human rights in eastern Ukraine. The report tells about cases of targeted killings, torture, beatings, abductions, sexual harassment, as well as intimidation of the media. Many peace rallies were held in the Ukraine. These rallies often turned to violence when they would meet opposing rallies. Most of the time, police wouldn't get involved. Other times, they would side with the attackers. 83 people disappeared during the street protest in Kiev. Some people who were abducted were released, while others have been found dumped in rivers or other places. UN monitors in Ukraine have also reported serious problems emerging in Crimea, especially related to the minority Crimean Tatar population. Russia annexed Ukraine's southeastern Crimea region in March after a controversial referendum. Since the annexation, Tatars faced harassment if they didn't meet the deadline to apply for Russian citizenship. One of the richest men in the world, Rinat Akhmetov, took a public stand of his own against the separatists in a video message on Wednesday. He said he favored decentralization of power under a new constitution in Ukraine, but was against his region joining Russia or trying to save an independent Donetsk People's Republic. He said either of the scenarios would result in sanctions and a loss of jobs and industry. Representatives of two of his factories in eastern Ukrainian city of Mariupol co-signed a memorandum that called for public order and security after armed conflict in the city that happened on May 9th. It called for disarming of the militias in Mariupol. It also urged the government to dismantle roadblocks into the city. Dang, that sucks.
Hi, I'm Ryan Gosling, and in this segment we're going to talk about the politics of Ukraine. So Ukraine is a presidential representative democratic republic, and in its government it has a multi-party system. Executive power is exercised by the cabinet, and legislative power is exercised by parliament. A new democratic constitution was adopted on June 28, 1996, which mandates a pluralistic political system with protection of basic human rights and liberties, and a presidential form of government. Freedom of religion is guaranteed by law, but religious organizations are required to register with local authorities and with central government. Freedom of speech and press are also guaranteed by law, but authorities sometimes interfere with the news media through different forms of pressure. A president is elected by popular vote for a 5-year term every 5 years. The president nominates the prime minister, who must be confirmed by the parliament. So, legislative branch. The Verkhovna Rada Parliament of Ukraine has 450 members elected for a 4-year term. Before 2006, half of the members were elected by proportional representation and the other half by single-seat constituencies. Starting with the 2006 parliamentary election, All 450 members were elected by party list proportional representation. The Verkhovna Rada ratifies international agreements, initiates legislation, and approves the budget. The overall trust in legislative powers is very low, however, in the Ukraine. So, Christina, what do you think about the U.S.'s involvement in the Ukraine?
Well, I think that we are kind of wrong because the Crimeans are mostly Russians and they want to be part of Russia, but the U.S. is stepping in to stop that from happening, and it's really not fair because the Crimeans want to be part of Russia. So we should butt out and mind our own business and let the people get what they want so everybody will be happy. Obama said that Putin has a chance to get back into a lane of international law.
Oh, really? What does he have to do in order to achieve that?
Putin must take steps over the coming weeks that include recognizing Ukraine's new president-elect Petro Poroshenko, stopping the flow of weapons over the border into Ukraine, and seizing Russian support for pro-Russian separatists in Ukraine.
If Russia keeps aggression towards the Ukraine, then the G7, the Great Seven, will keep imposing heavy economic sanctions in Russia. It was originally going to be the G8, but since the decisions in Moscow have violated international law, they have been excluded from this group. And all the way from Lithuania is
Brendan with news about Lithuania.
This is Brendan Marticius reporting live from Lithuania on Channel 9 News. Lithuania is a medium-sized country off the southeastern shore of the Baltic Sea. It is one of the 3 Baltic states. The others of the 3 are Estonia and Latvia. The Baltic states are 3 countries who broke free from the control of Russia around the time of the First World War. The population of Lithuania is roughly estimated at 3 million. The national language spoken is Lithuanian. The major religion practiced is Roman Catholicism. The currency used is the lita. 1 lita is worth 39 cents in American currency. The government of Lithuania is republic. In fact, the official term for the country is the Republic of Lithuania. In this government, the Prime Minister is elected by the President. The President of Lithuania is Dalia Grybauskaitė. She just got re-elected for a second 5-year term. This makes her the first female in the country to be elected to serve 2 terms. Lithuania is planning to join the Eurozone. The Eurozone is a group of countries that use the euro as their major form of currency. Prime Minister Algirdas Butkevičius says it will be beneficial in the wake of Russian assertiveness in Ukraine. He says it is, quote, one more step toward the deeper economic, financial, and political national security, quote, of the country. Also, Lithuania recently accused Russia of harassing ships at the Baltic Sea. In other news, the country will be raising wages for cultural workers, which will cost the country $25 million. Thanks for watching. This has been Brendan Marticius reporting for Channel 9 News. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Brendan.
That ends our time here on Channel 9 News.
Thanks for watching.
Have a fantastic
day.
Go. Dang it.
Who's going first? Oh, I didn't see you there. Well, look, you got all my lines.
Oh, thank you.
Hi, I'm here with Captain James. That's her name.
Captain Jack.
Hi, what's her name?
Is it recording?
And all the way from Lithuania
Is Brendan with Lithuanian News. No.
all the way from Lithuania is
Brendan with news about Lithuania.
Backseat, screaming out loud in the backseat. screaming out ashes, young, attractive, handsome bachelor, awesome rapper, got a knack for